It's time to sit back and check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
I tell you what, I've seen some pay-per-views in my time, right? I've seen quite a few. I've never seen a pay-per-view quite like this. What is going on, everybody? Lee Sanders with you guys for this Saturday night live once again for September 7th, 2024. We're talking about AEW All Out. So for those of you that saw that pay-per-view, what did you think overall? Kind of rough there, yeah? Somehow we all made it. That's all I got to say. Good night, everybody. Sound off. Let me know what you thought about tonight's pay-per-view. X, formerly known as Twitter, at the RCWR show. We also have a poll, not just on X, formerly known as Twitter, but we also got the poll up on youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the post section and you can vote that way. You know what? I'm very curious right now. I want to poke my head on X and I want to see how people are voting so far in regards to that. Yeah, just as I was expecting there. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are not disappointing with how you're voting so far. So let me see if I got this straight. We're just gonna go right to it. I'm not gonna go in a particular order. I gotta tell you, in all my years of watching pay-per-views, wrestling pay-per-views, I have been known to be very reactionary, especially when something major is going down. Maybe somebody's making a triumphant return. Maybe there was some type of a surprise that, oh man, the wrestling fan in me did not see that coming. And I'm reacting to it accordingly as it's playing out. Like there's just this big burst of energy that's just coming out of me. It's this great passion and it's fun. And I just got all of this excitement and all this good stuff that's going on. Never in all my years of watching wrestling, and I've been watching wrestling since 1984 would be my earliest recollection as a little kid, right? So 1984 at least. Never have I walked away from a wrestling show going, what the fuck did I just watch? Like literally, I have walked away and I've gone, okay, that was kind of bad. Well, it happens. It was an off night. I literally walked away from tonight's pay-per-view. Any good that was in my head that I came across along the way, certain parts of watching this, my God, it started at 6:30 p.m. if you were watching 0 Hour. But if you skipped it and you just went to the main card, okay, so we pretty much go about 4 hours, give or take. Anything good was overshadowed by that main event match between Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. I don't know what was more disturbing. I'm really at a loss for words. Very rare do I come on here live and I'm at a loss for words. Let's dissect the fuck out of this, okay? Okay, so you're looking at this pay-per-view card, right? This is a card we all could be in agreement. AEW, my God, y'all just did All In less than 2 weeks ago. And now you guys are turning right back around and you're doing it again. I thought WWE was bad. You guys that have checked out all my shows, you've heard me say, yo, this shit that's going on with WWE, pay-per-view every 3 weeks, like we need a break, right? So it's not like I'm nitpicking one particular promotion. I always say on this show, when praise needs to be given, don't matter what the promotion is, I'm gonna give it. When I got offered that constructive criticism, I'm gonna dish it. So AEW, you just did All In. Less than 2 weeks, now we're going into All Out. The overall buildup for this card, we all could be in agreement, felt very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. But we're looking at the card together as a wrestling community, and we're going, well, look, it's an underwhelming buildup, but the matches, for the most part, pretty good. We should get some nice gems out of this. And we did get some good gems out of it. But man, when you're left with that lasting bitter taste in your mouth from that main event between Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page, you can't help but go, what the fuck did I just watch? So let me see if I got this straight. Not the multiple chair shots to the head, to the body. No. Not in this match I'm talking about now. No, not that one. We're not going to draw the line there. Not getting a super avalanche suplex from the top rope or almost close to the top of the steel cage structure. No. We're not going to draw the line there. Oh, okay. Not being put multiple times back first on a cinder block. No. We're no, that's not where we're gonna draw the line. No. Not the multiple times when blood is gonna be drawn and you're like, oh, this is so gory, this is so nasty. Oh my god. No, we're not gonna. Not even when a syringe is put through the mouth of Swerve Strickland. Bad enough his grill was taken out, but I mean, hey, look, that is what it is. But nah, we're not gonna draw the line when the syringe is put through Swerve Strickland's mouth. And of course, you're seeing this, you're going, oh, this ain't nothing. There's just a little prop. It's not real. No, my friends. It's an actual syringe. You can see the needle clear as day go through Swerve Strickland's clear as day. We're not going to draw the line right there. No. We're going to draw the line after Hangman just takes a steel chair to the dome of Swerve. That's when the referee decides, okay, that's enough. This is over. I just said to my wife before I came on the air, I said, I don't know how I can continue to be an AEW fan after this. I don't know how I can continue to watch the product after this. And she looked at me with the most stunning look on her face, like it was that bad. Like what the hell did I miss? And I just gave her the quick bullet points, but I just looked at what happened tonight with that main event match. And then look, not for nothing. And I know we're kind of just bouncing, but you're tuning in immediate reactions, right? I've got nothing written down, but we'll talk about the matches and all that, but just overall, just my gut, my knee-jerk reactions right now to what I just watched. I just feel that was very damaging, what we saw from that main event match between Swerve and Hangman. And then let's not also forget Moxley damn near murdering Bryan Danielson on live pay-per-view television. Okay. I mean, they were going Goodfellas on Bryan Danielson. Clear plastic bag over Danielson's face, choking him out, like literally trying to murder this man. And I couldn't help but just look at that element right there that I just talked about. Look at the Swerve Strickland Hangman Page element, combine the two, and just go, man, we've come so long. We've come so far as a wrestling community. The wrestling industry itself has come so far from those primitive, sometimes I'll call it as it is, that period of time where advertisers, you name it, oh, pro wrestling, oh, that's so barbaric. That's, oh my God, the people that watch that, they're of low intellect, and the wrestlers themselves, look at what they're doing to themselves, to their body. How could they? Oh my God, they must be stupid too. Like, ugh, we don't want to have anything to do with that. Give you primetime television for that for that barbaric, you call that a sport? We've come so far. And some of what I saw tonight felt like 20 steps backwards on so many levels. I didn't like that because for me, in my book, teach its own, but for me, in my book, those two instances that I just described really put a black eye on the pay-per-view overall. Now, look, if you're one of those people that can honestly go, hey, man, that all was great. I loved it. I ate every single minute of it. Good shit, man. Like, kudos to you. Kudos to you. For me, you know, it just really felt like the question I want to ask Tony Khan and crew, what are we doing here? You call yourself AEW, where the best wrestle. So you're relying solely on the wrestling to bring in your audience. You're pretty much letting it be known what lane you're trying to be in. Hey, when you think about AEW, you think about all the talents that we have that's part of this company and just the caliber of in-ring talent that is there. Man, you can go to whatever other promotion you want to go check out, but if you want to watch some really damn good wrestling, AEW is where it is. And yet, we're taking Tony Khan and crew, we're taking some serious steps backwards. I need for Tony Khan and crew to figure out what their lane is, or because on the one hand, I'm getting the whole "we're the best wrestle" tagline, and then I get what I get tonight, where it's shock value night. We're trying to go for shock and awe, but the way we're going about that shock and awe, it comes off very tacky. It comes off very tasteless. And if you're an advertiser or whatever, you're looking at this, you can't help but go. And I thought Tony Khan and crew, I thought they learned from that. Who was the one wrestler that they had on AEW Dynamite programming that showed up? You know what I'm talking about. It was a hardcore wrestler from, I think it was from GCW. And he took a pizza cutter during one of his matches or whatnot. And when they did the picture in picture break, you actually had a Domino's commercial, I believe it was. And then Domino's basically said to Warner Brothers Discovery, yeah, we don't want to have any of our ads run at the time that this shit is on. We don't want to have nothing to do. We don't want no association whatsoever with with this programming. So leave us out of it. I wish I could remember the guy's name right now. I know somebody's gonna jog my memory in the chat in a little bit, which I appreciate because it's on the tip of my tongue right now. But you're thinking about certain instances. A screwdriver incident in most recent memory and most recent weeks from AEW programming comes to mind as well. And to a certain degree, you could go, harmless, small fry. Ain't really nothing to trip over. But then you look at what we had got from those two scenarios tonight, and you just can't help but go, yeah, right. I mean, to the point, for those that did not watch the pay-per-view, and you're thinking maybe I'm being a little bit too critical or whatever. Even the Chicago crowd that was there in attendance, when they saw the stuff that was going on with Bryan Danielson, being murdered, even they're going and they're chanting, "This is awkward." They have every right to feel that way, right? I mean, it seemed like I was watching a scene from Goodfellas where frickin' Joe Pesci, no, frickin', I'm trying to think. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm thinking Casino because I always get the two. No, I'm thinking more like Casino. Poor Bryan Danielson was done like Joe Pesci in freaking Casino. And just the way poor Wheeler Yuta was just held back by Pac. Look, I'm like this. Ain't that much crying in the world, man. Like, if you doing that to my boy, I'm gonna be scratching your arm. I'm gonna be punching you in the face. I'm gonna be kicking you in the balls. I'm gonna be doing everything I can in my power to get to my boy and try to save his ass. You just gonna have to knock my ass out. You're gonna have to give me the same treatment like you giving to Danielson. That's how you going. So that whole thing was just kind of weird in itself. But then to see the attempted murder of Bryan Danielson play out before my very eyes. Wow, all in the span of like a week when you stop and think about it. So we got a black man's house being burned down, which comes off very Ku Klux Klanish to everything else that I just mentioned, and it all culminates in AEW All Out. Welcome to your post show. Let's talk about 0 Hour. God damn, you can't make this shit up, I tell you. 0 Hour, Renee, RJ City, Jeff Jarrett did great. Gotta tell you though, we probably could have benefited a little bit more if we could have seen Jeff Jarrett somewhere on the card. There's a couple of names that I'm thinking about where I'm going, you know what? If we could have got them, that would have been all right. That would have been all right. The Acclaimed defeating the Iron Savages tag team match, 8 minutes, 10 seconds. Did not get a chance to see this match. Hologram, Sammy Guevara, Dustin Rhodes defeating the Premier Athletes in a trios match, 9 minutes, 50 seconds. Did not get a chance to see that match either. I came in on the Bang Bang Gang defeating the Dark Order in a trios match, 7 minutes, 35 seconds. Solid stuff. Solid stuff. From there, Undisputed Kingdom defeating the Beast Mortos and Shane Taylor Promotions. You also had Action Andrade and Top Flight. It was a three-way trios match, 10 minutes, 55 seconds. So I did see that matchup as well. Love that. Love my Layla Gray being incorporated in there with Top Flight, starting to find their groove. Not to mention they're finding the right type of costumes to wear. Remember the first time they came out, I wasn't sure if I was looking at a airline crew or if I was looking at the beginnings of a really bad adult film. So I'm glad that they're finally kind of taking it up a notch a little bit with the choice in costume attire there. Okay, three-way trios match, for the most part. Is the pre-show matches that I did see. Honestly, if I could sum it up perfectly, felt like you were watching an extended edition of Rampage, all said and done. Actual card we go for the pay-per-view all out. MJF defeating Daniel Garcia. 23 minutes, 40 seconds. Look, this was a good fight. I love the fact that MJF, it's that little fine attention to detail that I appreciate. You had MJF come out first. I'm watching him come out and I'm automatically thinking, hey, wouldn't it be badass if MJF wasn't successful in doing his whole entire heel entrance? Wouldn't it be badass if maybe he got jumped from behind? Sure enough, Daniel Garcia comes from out of nowhere, starts wailing the hell out of that guy. Loved it. So from the minute jump like that, you're setting the tone perfectly as far as I'm concerned. So they did that really good. Kudos AEW for that. Nice, nice good back and forth between both men. I gotta admit though, I love the fact that in over 20 minutes, these two guys are just beating the living hell out of each other. Dan Garcia's drawing blood and everything. And how does this end? How does this end? This basically ends with a low ball to the groin for MJF and then the victory. I gotta tell you what, I saw that go down in real time. I laughed with delight because I was tickled. I just looked at that and I'm going, God, I hope this is not going to be a long night because it was a really good back and forth fight between these two guys. Really was. But then when you got to the low blow MJF did, now you're kind of going a little bit comical there. I gotta admit, I was expecting Garcia to kick out. Now, some of you guys can say that watch the event. Some of you guys can say, "Oh, Lee, you're so foolish." No, no, that was going to be, but no, I was expecting for Garcia to kick out there for what it was worth. But hey, look, it's MJF. Whatever he's got to do, hook or by crook, he's going to do whatever it takes, whatever is necessary to get the job done. So, but I just thought that was pretty hilarious how it went down. I don't think these two are done just yet because, not to mention, post match, MJF trying to be a good little sport, extending his handshake out there to Garcia. Garcia pretty much saying, nah, man, bump that because he knew a cheap attack was coming. Sure enough, it was, but Garcia managed to fight it off, hit a pile driver from top rope, pretty much laying out MJF. Then taken to the crowd to celebrate. Didn't do his dancing. Did not do his dancing. I don't think these two guys are done with one another just yet. So I still feel as though they're just getting started here with their respected rivalry, which is good. Which is good because I actually would not mind seeing more from these two guys. That's just me personally. Oh Lord have mercy. What a night. What a night. Anyway, next up. Where are we here? Young Bucks defeating the Blackpool Combat Clubs, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta to retain their AEW World Tag titles. 15 minutes and change. Oh, I've said this off and on for years now when it comes to the Young Bucks. What kind of Young Bucks are we going to get that's going to show up for their match? Are they going to dial up the hits? They're just going to do the bare minimum? Or are they going to actually rise to the occasion, try to match their opponents? This was just another night where the Young Bucks were coming in there, dialing up the hits. This match was nothing. See, there's two things about this match that can be said that's true. Typical Young Bucks match, but if you're a fan of Claudio and Wheeler, you're tolerating it because you really like those guys. You might not be expecting them to get the tag titles off of the Young Bucks, but you're tolerating the match because you're hoping that, well, look, it's Young Bucks, but they're taking on these two guys from the Blackpool Combat Club. Surely, this will go to a really good level. Kind of just stayed in the same realm. For me, it didn't really switch into gears. They never really got out of that first gear as far as I was concerned. Shout out to everybody out there that enjoyed this match, but it wasn't a terrible match. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't a terrible match. But at the same time, for me at least, it did not have that pay-per-view, big fight, big hype type of feel. And again, I think when it's all said and done, you got to have in the back of your mind, especially those of you that haven't watched this pay-per-view yet, but you plan on checking it out. It's that whole underwhelming, okay, 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, going into another pay-per-view here. That's what we're talking about when it's all said and done. I want to take the time out. Thank those of you that's checking out this post show right now. I am seeing across all multiple outlets. We got a nice, good showing. Looks like we're in the triple digits so far. So that's good. I like that. Keep it rocking, keep it rolling. Oh, now, of course, the question: who's next for the Young Bucks? They retain their titles. Who's next? Well, I would like to believe that the grizzled young veterans are probably going to be next. Yeah, I mean, you would think they probably are going to slide in there for contention, or maybe the MXM collection. I gotta admit, those guys are starting to grow on me. I'm starting to like their gimmick. They got a great look. They work very well together. Matt in particular, for a big guy, god damn, is he so agile, isn't he? I mean, yeah. You could maybe go that route. A guilty pleasure of mine, but see, the problem with them right now is they've been losing too much on television, but under the right circumstances, you could definitely build them up. They've got the gimmick already in place, and the fans love them. I'm talking about the Outrunners. I would love to see the Outrunners and a babyface Outrunners at that. And I mean, who better to really help establish the Outrunners as a very solid babyface tag team than the Young Bucks? I mean, it just writes itself so perfectly. Perfect world. I'd love to see those two teams lock it up. Trying to think if there's maybe one or two other teams that I'm thinking of that could. You know what? Let's slide them in there as well. I know for sure Top Flight. Would definitely love to see Top Flight go toe to toe there with the Young Bucks. That'd be pretty good as well. Um, those are the ones that really jump out to me off the break. Oh, Gates of Agony as well, but yeah, fat chance of that happening, right? I mean, can you just imagine that? Gates of Agony, we right in one corner, and then in the other corner, you've got Young Bucks. I mean, you're literally looking at that when you just think about those visuals. You're going, "Oh man, Young Bucks are going to be murdered," and it's like, no, on the contrary, Young Bucks come out with a W. And realistically, you're kind of going, wait, how? Like, how's that? How? They did shenanigans, right? Surely they pulled a couple of shenanigans to screw Gates of Agony, right? But those are some of the teams. Wishful thinking. We'll see how it plays out, but have a feeling that Grizzle Young veterans, they're probably going to be the ones to be hot shotted next to take on the Young Bucks, and we'll see where that goes. Let's not also forget, though, grizzled young veterans. Who was it that they beat up? What was the tag team that they beat up in their debut? Wasn't it FTR? Let me actually go back to the pay-per-view, the previous pay-per-view, which would have been All In, because that's where we saw them make their debut. I'm looking at All In right now, so bear with me and I can tell you. Yeah, yeah. Because remember, All In a couple of weeks ago, you had the three-way tag match between Bucks, FTR, and the Acclaimed. And remember, Grizzled Young Veterans, they had attacked FTR post-match. So you can't help but wonder if when Grizzled Young Veterans do cash in and eventually are able to kind of get themselves into that position of having a match for the tag titles, if it's going to go according to schedule, or if FTR may come back and they may have a little something to say about it, may run a little bit of interference of their own. Wait and see how that all plays out. But that's how I'm looking at that. You like how we're going through these matches so far, by the way? We are just ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. I'm not playing around tonight. I'm not playing around tonight. I'm being mindful of the time, most importantly, you all's time. But at the same time, I just feel there's no reason to go on and on and on about. Besides, for those of you that definitely want to sound off, give your thoughts about the pay per view and all that, I do want to make sure we show you guys some love as well. So come one, come all with those comments. Keep it coming, keep it rocking. Let's see. Next up, Will Ospreay defeating Pac to retain his AEW International Championship 20 minutes. Now, you know what? I like this match. I like this match. I got to be totally candid with you guys. This was, for me, the first match for the actual pay per view where I go, okay, now you guys got my attention. I knew on paper this match would be good, and it kind of exceeded my expectations. Now that I'm thinking about it in retrospect and everything, I thought as far as match of the night and just looking at the rest of the card, yes, I would have to say that, and that's not going to change, y'all. For match of the night, Will Ospreay, Pac, hands down, hands down. If you ordered the pay per view, you maybe have a friend that's going to hook you up later on with a link for the pay per view. You want to pick my brain off the break as far as, yo, what should I fast forward and go right to? You picking my brain? I'm telling you, go right for Ospreay Pac. You'll thank me later. Good, good shit from both guys. Sincerely, great stuff. That that freaking here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. Ospreay. I'm concerned about this young man because there were certain spots that he was taking in this match tonight. The one spot that really, ooh, what the hell? I think it was some type of a power bomb. It was something on the side apron, and I just know his back. Oof. And then there was another spot where back first, outside the ring, onto the floor. I was just looking at those spots particularly, and I'm going, God damn, you keep going like this, man. You gonna be hurting in no time. You're gonna be having that chronic pain, and Lord knows what else is gonna come with that chronic pain. You definitely gonna be cheating yourself out of more years of in-ring wrestling, continuing to take bumps like that. Like, it's just one bump. Try to let it be just one big bump, a pay-per-view. But that to the side, man, that Osprey. I continue to just marvel at this young man. I mean, he continues to go in there. And since we have seen him arrive in AEW and we've been able to access him more on a regular basis. We've been able to consume him on a regular basis as an American audience. This guy is just, he has yet to have a bad match. I don't want the guy to have a bad match. I- What I'm trying to highlight is the fact that Osprey can do no wrong. Whoever he is across from, the guy can do no wrong. He has this great ability to not just get himself over, but to also help get his opponents over as well. He tells a fantastic story in the ring, definitely as far as up and coming, new and established technical wrestlers that's out there. He is all that and then some. I'm telling you, I could have, you know what? I wish of all the matches, I wish this could have been built up storyline wise even more, even more. But this match right here, definitely my highlight of the night for sure. Pack, you know, I love Pac. I love him to death, man. And sometimes it's a little frustrating seeing him in certain situations where, you would think, okay, yeah, this is his night. He's got this. It's going down. And it's always you've come close, but no cigar. And I just keep wondering when, if ever, will he get his chance to shine? I mean, I don't want no, okay, he's gonna be able to shine for 2 months. No, no, no. I want to see this guy. I've been following this guy since he debuted in WWE. I remember when he was killing it as the cruiserweight champion and all that, left and right, and just how he was able to develop from there. I want to see that long of a reign for Pac in the near future with whatever championship. World heavyweight champion, without a doubt. And I tell you what, I hope that before Bryan Danielson hangs it up, which, by the way, I know we're going out of context right now, but we can definitely jump into it since we're segueing and I just mentioned the man's name. But I would have preferred to see under better circumstances. I would have preferred to see Bryan Danielson defend that championship tonight against Pac than Jack Perry. And I'll explain why in just a hot minute. But I really hope that before Bryan Danielson is done, I hope we get to see him and Pac one on one, because that would be for damn sure. That would be a fucking banger, without a doubt, without a doubt. But yeah, the Jack Perry Bryan Danielson match. Let's talk about that. Now, look, don't be. I'm letting you guys know right now. There's going to be motherfuckers out there that's going to be going, "Oh my god, this pay per view, stupendous, marvelous, superb, everything. They could do no wrong. Everything was perfect. How was the meal? Oh, it was delicious. Was it to your liking? Yes, yes. It wasn't overcooked, undercooked. No, no, it was perfect. Everything was just no. 10, 9.5. No, no, no. Look at them cross-eyed. Look at them cross-eyed if they're going to be talking like that and talking about this pay-per-view. Bryan Danielson, Jack Perry. Bryan Danielson, God bless that dude, man. God bless that dude. My man went in there. I don't care if he was part of the decision crew that was, yeah, Jack Perry. Let's do a match with him. I don't care. God bless Bryan Danielson because he went in there and the commentators can say all they want about, oh, Jack Perry. Oh man, he pulled in a one of a kind performance. He really took his game to a whole new other level. Jack Perry, he opened eyes tonight. No, he did not. I don't know what you watching on your TV, but on my TV, what I saw of Jack Perry was not ready, not ready, long way to go. I don't know if he'll get there. That's not me hating. That ain't me bashing. Again, you're talking to somebody who's been watching wrestling since the 80s. I've looked at certain people very young in their career, and I've been able to go, yeah, they got it. I've also been able to go, yeah, they don't got it. And then there's some where I go, I'm not sure. And with Jack Perry, I'm not sure. Now, seeing what's going on with Jack Perry in AEW is the equivalent of, hey, man, I'm looking for a job. Yeah, aren't we all? Yeah, I tell you what, I could really use a job though, man. I mean, it would do me wonders. You like Pokemon? Boy, do I. And one thing leads to another, and the next thing you know, your buddy chums with this person, you got the gig. When I look at what's been happening with Jack Perry, I'm not talking about the New Japan stuff. Credit to him for what he was able to do over there in New Japan. I am talking specifically about what's been happening with him since he's been in AEW. Oh, well, he's now the TNT champion, and this happened, and that happened, and oh man, he this match with Bryan Danielson's like, yeah, but let's be realistic. He didn't earn, like, come on now. Come on. Come on. Don't kid yourself here. Come on. Come on now. It helps having friends in high places as opposed to low places. Let's not bullshit when it comes to this match. This was all Bryan Danielson carrying the hell out of this. This was essentially Bryan Danielson going, you need a ride? Where are you going? I'll take you there. That literally was it. Only thing Jack Perry had to do was just show up, and Bryan Danielson did the rest. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. But this whole notion that Jack Perry, oh, he really stepped it up. Oh boy, he no. And anytime you can have me laugh my ass off and look at how big Bryan Danielson is compared to Jack Perry. I mean, I thought I was watching a mini Brock Lesnar a lot of times destroying Jack Perry there and everything. Um, yeah. And that whole stuff at the end where Jack Perry basically tried to hit. Matter of fact, no, he didn't try. He did hit that Jesus Christ pose when he got his ass knocked out by the Busaiku knee. By the way, let me see if I got this straight. Not one Busaiku knee, not two, but like 3 to 4 had to take out Jack Perry. Like, we're really trying to, like, come on, man. That it just wasn't. That's why part of me was appreciative when the Young Bucks tried to interfere, and then the Blackpool Combat Club came in there, even up the odds and all that. So that kind of helped a little bit. Post match, Danielson being attacked by Luchasaurus. This sets up Christian Cage to come out. Remember, he has that AEW contract championship opportunity. Has all the time in the world to cash it in. Anytime, anywhere. Looked like he was getting ready to cash it in when the Blackpool Combat Club, along with John Moxley, assembled, denying them. That pretty much had them walk off and everything. Good stuff right there. So you go, okay, hey, the Blackpool Combat Club. All right. Hey, nice to see you, all these guys. Cool. BCCs all together in the ring. Look like they're doing a nice little pose down or whatever. Next thing you know, this was like the weirdest thing that went down here because it went by so damn fast here. So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this right. Because this went down so damn fast, it wasn't even funny. So, leading up to John Moxley turning on Bryan Danielson here post match, if I'm not mistaken, it was Claudio Castagnoli that hit an uppercut on Danielson. I have a big bone of contention right here with this one, and I know you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. And I love Bryan Danielson, which just makes this even more frustrating because Danielson really cares about storytelling. He really cares about the art of selling. That guy is there. He's tuned in and he is there. Can anybody please explain to me or even justify why did Bryan Danielson no sell that European uppercut? I mean, I was expecting this guy to be laid out on the floor and everything, and then just kind of shake off the cobwebs, kind of look around, and then kind of realize as he's looking on at Claudio, like what dude, what the hell? Why'd you? And none of that happened. It was pretty much uppercut. Danielson lays right on his ass, and he's looking at Castagnoli like, what the hell? Why'd you do that? But you don't sell the move. That was the crazy part. He didn't sell the uppercut. That was just I was laughing at that part. And then we see Moxley put the plastic bag over. I mean, the only thing that was missing besides that was the ice pick to the back of the head, right? Oh, your bar caught fire? Fuck you, pay me. I mean, seriously, that whole joint was a casino moment, man. Seriously, seeing poor Wheeler Yuta crying and everything, right? Only thing missing was a couple of dudes with baseball bats just destroying the hell out of uh out of our boy there. So it all makes sense. I think some of us saw this a mile away when Moxley was saying, remember when he returned? Was it less than 2 weeks ago? One of the things he said in that cryptic promo, this isn't your company. It was so funny because when he said that, I remember online there were so many people. Oh, he's acknowledging CM Punk without acknowledging him. He's taking jabs there at CM Punk. I just shook my head in disbelief and saying, not everything is about CM Punk. And I felt in my bones in that particular instance, no, he's not talking about CM Punk. He's talking about Bryan Danielson, but let's see how they're going to be able to string all this together here. And I continue to be amazed at where we're going with this so far. So if you were to have me speculate on what I think is going on here, like why did Moxley do what he did here? I don't think it's a case where don't expect Moxley to come out and say, hey man, when I had some dark days and I was on the sidelines, you weren't there. I don't see anything like that happening. I would not be surprised if Moxley were to come out there and say something along the lines of, I kind of feel like reality and all that, the lines are going to blur a little bit here, where the fans are going to have to try to figure out, okay, what are they saying here that could potentially be real and what's just total BS? Wouldn't be surprised if Moxley were to come out there and say something along the lines of, hey, I remember the early beginnings of this company. Danielson, I remember the conversations that we had. I can see something like that coming about right down to the point of maybe there was some type of a pact that they made with one another. And Danielson pretty much broke that through the process of gaining more power and power within the company. For all we know, Moxley, in his eyes, might feel as though Danielson has politicked his way to this great position of power that he has right now. I have a feeling that Danielson's creative, his influence, all his roles, the many hats that he wears in AEW. I feel all that is going to come to surface when Moxley reveals why he did what he did. I would not even be surprised if it got to the point where Moxley says something along the lines of, and let's be honest, you're in cahoots with Tony Khan. You got everybody fooled, but you ain't got me fooled, brother. I know that crap. You forget we both used to work for another company a long time ago, and I saw how you were operating then. That's what I feel is gonna come to surface. And for stuff like that, what I'm mentioning, what I'm laying out for you guys right now, if they don't go in that direction, I'd be pretty shocked. But then I'd be even more curious to see, okay, well, if you ain't gonna go in that direction, then where are you gonna go with this one? Right. So we'll see how that all pans out. But in regards to the match itself, again, Danielson, Jack Perry. All praise needs to be given to Danielson for that one. Like anybody that hasn't watched it yet, or you're still not feeling what I'm talking about, just go back and watch that match. Particularly watch that match on mute if you can. But when you have certain things on mute, really heightens the senses even more and everything. Go back and just watch that match. Danielson was doing everything. It was literally, you want something to eat? I'll make you something. You ain't gotta do nothing. Go watch TV. I'll make the table. I'll set it. Get the drinks out. I'll do everything. All you gotta do is just come into the kitchen, sit your ass down, and eat when it's ready. Danielson, put on a masterpiece. What else we got here? Now, something else that was actually good besides the Will Ospreay pack match. I did enjoy the street fight, the Chicago street fight between Willow Nightingale and Kris Statlander. I did enjoy the hell out of that. Kris Statlander picking up the victory. Went down at, what was the final tally on that one? That was at the 15-minute mark. Great match. Loads better than what we got with Mercedes Moné and Shida. That Chicago crowd, boy, I tell you, when Mercedes Moné came out, crickets, crickets. That's all it was crickets. All you could hear. But let's talk more about that Chicago street fight because that actually was really good. Hats off to both girls. I was expecting. Hopefully, I don't sound like a deranged individual here, but I was expecting more blood. I don't know about you guys, but I was expecting more blood. And what was kind of what I thought was going to be a dead giveaway is the fact that when Willow Nightingale came out, oh, she's got on this pink. Um, they kind of, to me, look like half bottoms of a nurse outfit, but she had a white top on. I'm looking at that. I'm going, oh, she's probably getting ready to bleed real good here in this matchup. So this should be good. Yeah. But that's not what happened. Chris Statlander was the one that did the bleeding, and then even at that, it really wasn't that much blood. But this was a nice look. This was a glorified hardcore match, as far as I was concerned, but a damn good hardcore match. Both girls rose to the occasion. I love seeing the usage of the thumbtacks. I was greatly concerned when Willow took those. Oh God, what was it? You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. She took him to the dome of Chris Statlander, the light poles. I was really concerned about that because I'm looking at that spot. I'm going, I hope those are fake as I don't know what. Otherwise, oof. Because now that we know what we know now about, hey, if you actually take one of these ceiling, tubes, and then you try to crack somebody, like they could be inhaling this stuff, and that's not a good thing. Mess up their intestines and all that other crap. Just yeah, you don't want to, you don't want any complications. But this was a violent love hate, love drink, to quote Alice in Chains, between these girls. Loved it. I'm glad that they got the amount of time that they got. Really good, comfortable match. And it just reaffirms in my mind what I have always felt and what I have been saying for a couple of years now, which is, yo, Chris Statlander, hey, as long as she can stay healthy, she should definitely be one of the main dominant faces for your women's division. Willow Nightingale, the same thing. I'm looking at all this money that was thrown Mercedes Moné's way, and I just no, take that money, and if anything, give it to those girls that I just mentioned for starters, because they definitely deserve a little bit more than what they're currently getting right now. And there's other girls that I can think of that, okay, while we're at it, let's hook these girls up as well. Queen Amanada, I definitely see that girl coming. Oh, I love what's going on with her right now. Good stuff right there from her. But this was, if you would have told me, as far as women's matches goes, if you were to tell me, Lee, there's only going to be one women's match on this pay-per-view card tonight, and it's going to come from Willow and Statlander, I would say to you guys, well, Chicago Street Fight, it's Willow, it's Statlander, it should be good. I'm okay with that. Hey, Lee, Mercedes Moné is going to be taking on Shida. I'd say to you, well, that should be a pretty good match as well. No, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. God bless Shida. I love Shida. I love her work. I love her work. Anybody that goes, oh my God, 5 stars, 4 stars. No, run in the opposite direction. Do not trust them to give you a ride home. I don't know what they're looking at. No, no. Where do I begin in talking about this match? Um, should I mention the positives? Maybe I could, if I take the time and I think about positives that I can say for this matchup. And then I can talk about the negatives. Maybe if I go about it that way, right? Well, I'm trying to think of some positives to say, and nothing really comes to my mind right now. Oh my god. Well, I tell you what. Mercedes Moné. That was a nice attire that she had. Yeah, nice little red, white, and blue. That was a nice little piece of attire that she wore. Um, no, no, seriously, this was oh god. This match was weak. As if the last match at the previous pay-per-view wasn't weak sauce. This was weak as well. Poorly executed, sloppy at various times. I wasn't a fan of the finish as well. Look, if Mercedes Moné wants to continue to do the money maker, then she's got to fully commit to that shit. She's got to fully commit to that shit. And what I mean by that is, okay, this is your move. This is what you're going to continue to do. You don't want to change it up. You don't want to go for something. This is your move. This is what you've decided is going to be your calling card. Okay. Well, if this is going to be your calling card, gee, I don't know. Fucking be able to pull the move off successfully. Plain and simple. If that means you got to go, hey, I got to work on my upper body strength, particularly my arms. I got to make sure that as far as the timing goes and everything, I got to make sure this is down pat because what I'm doing here, right? I got to make sure everything is just okay. All right. But you're dedicating yourself in working on those fine little details to make that move better. Okay, cool. Appreciate the commitment. Great. Sloppy, botchy, that money maker. It just, I get it. It looks cool. This isn't the first time we've seen her struggle hitting that move. We have seen her repeatedly struggle to make that move. I don't know about you guys, but after about the third time, I'm going, okay, you know what? Let me go with something else. Let me go with something else. Let me go with a move. It doesn't matter if you're 4 feet tall. It doesn't matter if you're 6'3" or if you're damn near close to 7'2". If I can come up with a finisher that is pretty universal, that I can get anybody in that move, regardless of their height and weight, that's a pretty good move. I'll probably last a good while. This move that she's doing, continuing to do, it's very risque. Like, and when I say risque, I don't see nobody getting injured. I don't see that happening. But the timing, that is what really is going to be like everything's got to be on point there. The timing. Shida, in her own respected right, I've seen enough Shida matches thanks to AEW. I know what Shida is capable of. Shida is a hell of a damn performer. She is damn solid in the ring. I have seen her have really damn good matches. Probably the only time I said, nah, it's not really clicking here. I think it was on two occasions, and those two occasions had to do with Britt Baker. For my personal taste, it was keep these two far apart. Don't need to see them lock it up again. Like it's obvious the chemistry or whatever. It's just, it's not there. I can't help but wonder if some of what was going on, and I'm very curious to hear how it all plays out in the media scrum, what Shida and or Moné have to say. I know Moné was pretty candid with the last media scrum about her match. I'm curious how she's looking at her performance in this one here. But I can't help but look at some parts of this match where Shida came off visibly upset. And you can take that visibly being upset as a sign of Shida. Okay, I'm not really feeling where we're going here with this match. The whole aura, the vibes, just the timing, the miscommunication, like shit's off right here. 'Cause I remember she had there was a kendo stick spot, and she kind of seemed to be a little upset there. I'm just curious what was her thought process during all that, but it came off to me like she was visibly upset here. Not good though. Not good. I'm just looking at the entire card, and I would have to say if I got to go with low point of the night, I think for the second AEW pay-per-view in a row that involves Mercedes Moné, I gotta go. I gotta go in that direction. I gotta go with that match yet again. I gotta go with that match yet again. I mean, goddamn, when it comes to Hangman Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, and their lights out steel cage match, yeah, I can say it was a little bit too long. We probably could have trimmed a little bit off of that. As numbing and disgusting as some of the spots were towards the end, okay, well, damn, at least they're trying to go for shock and awe. At least they're trying to give people something to talk about. And let's be honest, the crowd was pretty fucking dead for half of this match. Once you got past the introductions, they were dead for half of this match. And I get it. After all, they've been there all freaking day. They're ready to go home. I get it. Trust me, I get it. So to have those spots where they were, but Mercedes Moné and Shida, low point of the night for sure. Damn, did we actually go through all the matches? And we're just at like an hour 10 at this point. Did we go through all the matches? Let me just go back and make sure. Because we just, I think, went through 12 matches just now. Let me just try to double check right here. No, no, there's one match that we did not talk about. There's one match that we did not talk about. Okada defending the AEW Continental Championship successfully against Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Takeshita. So Okada, still your Continental Champion. It's so funny when I saw this match and I heard the name of the championship the first go around. I'm going, wait a minute. Didn't we just do this with Will Ospreay and Pac? Didn't we just do this? And I immediately jumped to the card. Oh, so one title is named the International Championship. Oh, and this other one that's underway, this is for the Continental Championship. Huh. Can we just do a unification match with those two? Like, do we really need a Continental and an International? Can anybody justify that for me? Can anybody help me and everybody else out there help it make sense? While we got a Continental and an Intercontinental Championship. I mean, that's almost like going, here's a Dr. Pepper for you. And for you, my friend, here's a Diet Dr. Pepper. What about me? Okay, you'll get a Dr. Pepper Zero. What about me? You can get a Dr. Pepper Vegan. Whatever. Yeah, do a unification joint already for that one. That fatal four-way for the Continental Championship. Yeah, okay. It's okay. I felt like I was watching something from Rampage. I honestly could have done without this match. It was a fun little match. Kind of it's interesting too, because when I think about the placement of these matches, when I look at this four-way for the Continental, you're coming off of a pretty good buzz that you had going on with that street fight. So you had a great high, natural high with that Chicago street fight. And then we brought it down. We brought it down. I don't really know if this match should have followed up behind that. I almost would make the argument this should have probably been part of 0 Hour. I would make that argument to you. I don't think this should have been on the actual pay-per-view card. Now, at the same time, however, I don't think the AEW TBS Championship match should have followed up after that Chicago Street Fight. I think if anything, oof, I think if anything, maybe if you would have had that TBS Championship match follow up behind Jack Perry and Bryan Danielson, maybe. But so many things with that match again, that women's match, definitely the length. 16 minutes shouldn't have gone that long. That should have been an easy 11 minutes and keep it moving along. So that's all the matches. Now, let's see how you guys had voted here. And I'll give you guys my voting afterwards. But let's see how you guys voted on this one here. Let's go to X at the RCWR show. See how you guys voted. There we go. Let's see here. You got 4 options: terrible show, average show, awesome show, most disturbing. Right now, 7% of the votes in, average show. Meanwhile, 42% of you said most disturbing. And 50% of you said awesome show. Appreciate you guys that voted via X. Let's see how you guys voted via YouTube. That's youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the communities tab. It's now known as posts. Click on that bad boy. Appreciate the over 190 of you that's checking out the stream. Now, we switched it up. We didn't give you guys most disturbing on the YouTube poll. But 33% of you said it was a terrible show. Meanwhile, 67% of you said it was a awesome show. So interesting, kind of interesting what we got going on right here. But I appreciate the fact that it's all said and done. Vast majority between both social media platforms are giving the pay-per-view a pass. So my thoughts on the pay-per-view overall, so many ways I can look at this pay-per-view. Really, there is. So let me look at it from this standpoint. If you were doing something with your significant other, or you were entertaining some friends coming into town, doing stuff with the family, and you're going, oh man, I forgot that there was a pay-per-view on. Have no fear. It's not the end of the world. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Now, if you're asking yourself, hey, I didn't pay for this pay-per-view, should I come up out of my pocket and pay for this bad boy? I would say, looking at the matches, Will Ospreay, Pac, MJF, Garcia, the Chicago Street Fight. If you can stomach Hangman and Swerve, go for it. So, I mean, that's 4 matches from the actual card. Now, maybe some of you guys don't mind checking out the 0 hour matches. And look, nothing's wrong with the 0 hour matches when it's on point, because a lot of times you'll see these guys do so much stuff that you got to remember as you're watching this. Damn, this is a pre-show. You have to remind yourself that, because when you're watching these guys are fighting like they're actually on the pay-per-view. You know, the way they're doing it. I mean, they're going overkill and everything at times. So, but from the actual pay-per-view card, I just gave you guys a couple of matches. So, you know, it's kind of up to you, honestly, and how much you like those wrestlers. That's what it really comes down to. But implosion of the BCC. What the hell is going on with Hangman Page? Hangman Page pretty much snapped. You definitely created some interesting arcs going into your next batches of AEW programming, particularly with Dynamite and Collision. So you did good on those fronts. If you can stomach this card, a lot of areas it might be too extreme. Might be too extreme for some of you guys out there. If you've got a squeamish kind of stomach, just the amount of brutality that was on display with this one. If you can stomach, then this is right up your alley. You should be good. But if you don't care for that type of stuff, this might be one you want to just bypass altogether. That's the best way I can break it down for you guys. So, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being crap, 10 being awesome sauce. I'm going to give this pay-per-view, just again, looking at the matches, taking it back, thinking about them, playing them back in my head. I'm going to give this I am going to give this a 6.5 out of 10. Letter grade wise, A to F, C plus. I'm not going to go higher. I'm not going to go any lower. Hey, let's see what's going on real quick with social media buzzing for this pay-per-view. And then this also gives you guys an opportunity to get some of your comments and sound off on the pay-per-view before we get ready to wrap it up. I do want to remind you guys that I will be live Monday night, September 9th, 2024, after WWE Raw goes off the air. So let's see. Let's go to cage match. Let's see what some of the people are saying here. For those of you that aren't familiar, we usually look at one of the best average ratings review for the pay-per-view. Average, most critical, most positive. That's how we break it down. So it's still pretty early right now, but it looks like slowly it's coming in. So I see Hazel gave the pay-per-view a 7 out of 10. Those of us that have watched this, let's see if we agree here with what she's saying or they are saying here. The main event cage match was ultimately what will stick in the memory for a very long time. But is it wrong that I felt slightly cold on the rest of the show? No, not at all. Not at all. It wasn't bad. It was pretty good overall, and they all worked hard. But where All In felt like the spectacle it was meant to be last year, this felt a bit pale compared to last year's show. Its weakest match was about 3 stars for me. So it wasn't bad, but I'm used to feeling a lot happier at the end of these shows. but this felt a bit like a one match show to me. And at least that was the match that I love. So it kind of sounds like they're leaning more towards that main event. And look, let's be honest, from some of my friends in the podcasting world, colleagues, even interacting with some folks, reading what some folks were saying in forums and everything. Most people went into this pay-per-view going underwhelming card, really one match, Swerve, Hangman. That's the match that nobody was talking about. Danielson, Jack Perry. Nobody was talking about that. Nobody was talking about the street fight. Nobody was talking about those international House of Championships. Nobody was talking about those. Sad, but true. It's sad, but true. I don't have an issue with any of what Hazel had said here. All right, let's keep it rocking and rolling. It's still early because I'm only seeing like 9 people that have left comments. I'm actually seeing a couple of 10s so far, and I'm also seeing a 9. One person just wrote a thesis. I'm definitely skipping that one. Let's see here. Let's go with Richard King. 10 out of 10. AEW did it again. Can you believe they do these pay-per-views of this quality every month? Unbelievable. There wasn't I didn't mean to read it like that either. I'm just reading. That kind of sounded. Let me try that again. AEW did it again. Can you believe they do these pay-per-views of this quality every month? Unbelievable. There wasn't a bad match on the card and genuinely possible 3 different 5-star matches. And pretty much every match was at least a 4. Except for the TBS championship match, which was just fine. I think this is what AEW needs to do to show they are the alternative to WWE. Just keep producing shows of this level, and your loyal fans will keep supporting your company. Awesome show. Just like every AEW pay per view this year. I have this brand new home just for you. 8 bedrooms, 6 baths, 5 parking lot spots in front of your home, 4 garages, swimming pool, your own personal security, well gated community, utilities free. All you need to pay me is $250 a month. Start by going to your local grocery store and get me a $100 Amazon gift card. When you have that Amazon gift card, call me and tell me the code that's on the card. Sanan Boy, 10 out of 10. Across the board, this was the best AEW pay-per-view ever. Zero filler, zero dudes. Great variation from start to finish. Amazing stories going on. Intriguing setup for next week's weekly shows. AEW has picked up the last 2 to 3 months. And I'm more into the product than I have been in a long time. The standouts were the Willow versus Stat Street fight, the Ospreay versus Pac match, the Lights Out Cage match, and the post-match angle for the Bryan versus Perry match. I'd suggest anyone to watch this show from start to finish. 10 out of 10. It's a hard rating to get, but I can't go lower than a 10. Yes, you can, but you won't. Same thing goes for you. I've got that a house with your name on it. What I just described for one person. That same offer can be extended to you as well. $100 Amazon gift card. Call me and give me the code on the back of it. Let's see here. Read one more for you guys. I see a 9 out of 10. I don't know how to pronounce this name. I'll just say Mindy. I don't really know why, but All In seemed a little more enjoyable to me as a whole event. Maybe it was for the vibe of company's event of the year or whatever, but I liked it a little bit more. As for the matches, the only one I'm going to complain is the tag titles one. I think they could have done something better with the teams. My recommendations for this event are Ospreay versus Pac, and of course, Swerve versus Page, which was match of the night for me. But warning, just watch the match if you have the guts to do it, because it was pretty uncomfortable, just like the rivalry acts to. Suddenly the whole thing about Swerve Strickland, the running joke about Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page are gonna stare a hole through each other so bad that at the end they'll just kiss for 10 minutes, just passionately making. I would have preferred to see that WTF than what we got at the end there, because it just totally negated. It's almost like you're fighting somebody, and then just all of a sudden you bend that person over the ropes, you tie them up, right? You handcuff them, and then you just pull out this big ass fucking black dildo and you just shove it up their fucking ass. And then the referee just goes, "Oh, that's it. That's it. The match is over. It's over." And suddenly you forget everything that you watched in that match. It's true. It's true. That was crude, I know. But you get the point that I'm making. There's like no denying it. There's no denying it. I mean, come on. Come on. So some interesting stuff right there. Um, yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, Tom Brady will be making his Fox broadcasting debut. Looking forward to seeing how he does. Kevin Burkhardt. Wifey was telling me something the other day in regards to an interview that he gave, or she saw some type of highlights, and she was like, "Boy," she was like, "You're really gonna like that Tom Brady this weekend." I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, it's good stuff." I don't like what's going on with the restrictions that's on him, though. I don't know if you guys had heard about that, but he's trying to buy in the ownership of the Las Vegas Raiders. So a group of owners all got together and they're basically saying, yo, if he's trying to become an owner, then we need these restrictions to be put on him, since he's going to be doing his whole broadcasting thing. I guess they're kind of looking at it from a look, he'll have insider information if so. He's banned, I think, from all campuses or something like that. Like he can't talk to. It's really weird how they did him. It's really, really weird how they did him. On the one hand, you hear it, you go, okay, cool. I get it. Doesn't make it right, but you're like, okay, I get it. But then on the other hand, you're also kind of going, these guys are very insecure, aren't they? These owners, right? Like, man, these clubs, they're very insecure. Huh. How about that? Who'd have thunk it? Right. So should be fun. Fun day of games. Looking forward to it. I'm trying to see before we get ready to roll out. I'm trying to see what's going on with the AEW media scrum. Trying to see if there's any highlights, important highlights that we can share with you guys before we get ready to dip out of here. I am looking here. Hang on. We got nothing from the media scrum? Nothing? I still can't believe I'm looking at the image as we speak. I still can't believe the syringe in the mouth. Julie Storm on X had the following to say: AEW, this was too far. Drugging people, WTF. Attempted murder, WTF. And for those of you that are curious, by the looks of it, Julie appears to be a older woman. Let me actually, when I say older woman, looks like someone that is in their late 40s, maybe early 50s. Uh, I hope I am not, uh, what's the right word I'm looking for? Full transparency here. And I do not mean this as disrespect, but Julie looks to be a member of the LGBTQ plus community. So, for somebody to say something like that, where AEW, remember their initial mission statement when they began the promotion, any and everybody is welcome to AEW as far as being a wrestling fan goes, because they pretty much, hey, look, everybody's welcome. When you think about the talents that we have here, it's a representation of the wrestling community, everyday people, right? So, for somebody of the LGBTQ plus community, potentially part of the community, to say that, that's that should definitely turn a couple of heads, I would think. The Pharaoh one. If I'm Warner Brothers Discovery, I'd be getting them off my networks ASAP for even more Big Bang reruns. Why on earth would anybody want to watch this? Who is paying billions to watch this? Blue Line Benji had this to say: AEW is not for everyone. So if you didn't enjoy what happened during AEW All Out, it's simple, babe. Don't fucking watch. Now, they did agree with Jalen on this one. Jalen saying, I only think the needle spot is kind of unnecessary, but I have been taking needles to the eye for months. So Blue Line would respond saying, yeah, that part in the plastic bag spot had my jaw drop. AEW knows how to get people talking. That's for damn sure. Yeah, but do you have them talking for the right reasons? That's the thing. Do you have them talking for the right reasons? A couple of more. I love wrestling. This comes from Thomas Whitty. Correction, Thomas Twitty. I love wrestling. And to me, wrestling is about making me believe without people actually hurting each other. People cheering people having their necks and heads destroyed. People cheering unprotected chair shots. Sorry, that's not fucking cool. No, no, don't apologize. And to his point, there were chair shots. I mean, open chair shots to the head. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, in the Swerve Hangman, there were chair shots, just blatant open chair shots to the head. And I remember at one point, was it Taz or was it Jim Ross that said, "That's the corner of that's the middle of the chair being used to the head there, folks." Like somebody said that, and I'm just going, yeah, and you better pray they're not concussed for the next little bit. Like seriously. Yeah, 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 yeah. You get what I'm saying now about going backwards here? Couple of more. I'm not seeing anything from the media scrum. Kind of interesting. Where was Chris Jericho? What was he doing? Was he with Fozzy? What's going on with him? I'm looking for a couple of more here. I'm still looking for some media scrum news, but I'm not seeing it. I'm very curious to know how everybody is doing, particularly Hangman and Swerve. What the hell? Hang on, I'm still checking it out. Yeah, it's pretty relatively quiet, unfortunately, as far as the media scrum goes. All right, let me see one other thing before we get ready to call it. I just want to check out one other thing, and then maybe in regards to the scrum, I think what we're gonna have to start doing when it comes to the scrum, I might end up. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Tony Khan. AEW is set to create a shockwave throughout all of professional wrestling. Let's see what this is about. I know they just recently trademarked Shockwave. That on September 6th, they filed to trademark AEW Shockwave for the purpose of entertainment in the nature of wrestling contests. He said in regards to what's going on with the trademarking and all that, it would be safe to say that AEW is set to create a shockwave throughout all of professional wrestling. Ha 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 ha. I think people are going to be talking about what they saw at AEW All Out, which was a huge business success for us. Did really, really well at the Now Arena, big sellout show, and also really well on pay per view. I think it bodes well and creates anticipation for Dynamite. We'll continue to send that shockwave through the world of professional wrestling here at AEW. Okay, he's not really answering the question, but you know what? Hey, I'd rather have this Tony Khan than what's currently going on with those AEW lawsuits and all that stuff. Tony Khan also says this is all part of the same scrum that he hasn't put pen to paper on a media rights deal yet, and that he's discussing a very detailed package with Warner Brothers Discovery. Saying, in addition, we're still in very, very close and exciting negotiations with Warner Brothers Discovery. It's been going on throughout the summer that we've been having these conversations. It's a very detailed package that we're having discussions about. I think it's safe to say I believe AEW is here to stay on TNT and TBS. I think that's true for a very long time, and I believe it. I have not put pen to paper. I'm still working on things. It's an exciting time without getting too specific, but while giving everybody that anticipation of things to come, there are really exciting things to come for AEW. It sure is dragging. I tell you what, I know some fans, they want to just, yo, what's going on already? I get it. I get it. Let's see here. Trying to look up some more Scrum news here. Looks like that is Yeah, looks like that is it. Relatively quiet here. RJ City, shout out to him. Apparently, after AEW All Out went off the air, he said, "All I can say is that was fucked. I don't know what else to say. After the last two matches, I don't know what to say." Yeah, that sums it up perfectly, dog. Seriously, that sums it up perfectly. Hey, I want to give a shout out to our friends and colleagues that support the show. Much love to you guys. Shout out to everybody that supports the show. Also, want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors because without them, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. Definitely want to give it up to our friends over at Axiom of Alchemy. Make sure you check them out at axiomofalchemy.com. Great artwork over there. We're also brought to you in part by our friends over at canaglobe.biz // sweet sensations. If you're interested in starting up your own cannabis dispensary, everything legit on the up and up, 100% legal. Get started for as little as $500. Check out their website or give them a call at 702-767-0683. We're also brought to you in part by Top Tier Financial Group.com. These guys specialize in all things tax resolutions, tax preparations, wage garnishments, tax liens. Put their 15 years of tax experience to good use for you. We're also brought to you in part by My ED Med. If you're tired of paying all that money for Viagra and Cialis, call the good folks over at My ED Med at 1-833-693-3633. If you're looking for some really good vitamin supplements made in the USA, 100% money back guarantee, and for great low affordable prices, check out Ancient Supplements store. We also have a new sponsor that we're happy to announce here on the show. It's so cool because when they had hit me up, they apparently were able to figure out because they did research and all that. They were able to figure out, oh, hey, you guys, are into the wrestling and everything. Hey, we got this really cool streaming service that we feel the listeners should know about, especially if they're trying to check out, all the wrestling shows, maybe some pay-per-views and all that. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Give us the information. Let's see what's going on and everything. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Discount TVUSA.com. Again, that's discount TVUSA.com. They are your one-stop shop for all of your streaming needs. Enjoy everything from the latest WWE and NFL sports to over 60,000 movies and countless series, all in one place for one unbeatable price. Visit discounttvusa.com for more info or to go place your order today. And if you have any questions, hit them up. They will be happy to help you guys out. We've worked with companies similar to this in the past, and you, the listeners, had enjoyed it tremendously. And we're happy to always, anyway, that we can help you guys save a couple of dollars and all that. We're always happy to do that for you all. All right. So another show in the books. To all of you that tuned in for this AEW All Out, appreciate you guys. Make sure if you haven't done so already, follow me over on the Twitter, X at the RCWR show. Definitely show this post show some love over on YouTube. If you guys could be so kind, go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/the RCWR show. Find the All Out post show and give it a like, share, subscribe. Most importantly, we're pretty close to hitting 15,000 subs. I'd like to crack that before November if we can. Do a nice little celebration and all that. Maybe we can give some stuff away. Who knows? I think that'd be kind of nice. That's if we hit the 15,000 mark. So hit it already. Help us get there already. Until next go round, which is going to be Monday night, we'll be covering Raw Fallout. I'm wishing all of you guys to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round, my pretty babies. Take care.